Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Now, in the previous episode, we got a skill called Watchtower, and this skill gave us a new button on the world map. So what does this button do? When you click it, it's gonna reveal a part of your map with all the loot that you can find on it. So let's click it once again. Nice, we got more loot and more loot and more loot. And we can't click it anymore because we revealed all of the areas. So as you can see, we actually missed some of the loot here, but not much. So let's go and get it. However, keep in mind that this option to scout the area for loot, it will reveal some of the puzzles, some of the points of interests, but it will not reveal treasure chests that you need to find with a treasure map. So let's go and loot all of this. And as you can see, we've already got all of our gold back that we used on scouting. And if you are worried about gold or wood, trust me, there is no reason to be worried. Okay, so I can choose to give up 2 men and get army morale, or I can give up 2 men to get some gold. Now my army morale is at maximum, so let's get the gold.
Milady, a strange boat floated past. I thought it imperial, but it flew not black sails, but red uns. Deep red, like blood. Where's Yanko? 'Twere dawn I sent him into the fields, but he's not returned. Milady, a strange boat floated past. I thought it, Milady, a strange boat floated past. I thought it imperial, but
Okay, for this we can get the gold or share it with soldiers so that we can get army morale. So since we have it at maximum, let's take the gold.
Horns sounded. Meve recognized them at once as those of the Lyrian vanguard. She drew her sword and prepared to face the invader. Yet coming down upon her force were not Nilfgaardians, but bearded warriors clad in leather, horned helmets on their heads. This was not so. The Queen could not believe her eyes.
Skelligan raiders, this far inland.
But this was no time to be bewildered. Meve spurred her horse, it neighed and reared, and then the twain leapt into the fray.
Reynard, what the devil? Sea raiders here!
Now this guy will always attack the highest value target, so I need to play some card with a lower value.
For Rivia!
Ah!
Gods are with us!
Can't take it anymore.
Let us put our steel to the test!
Again and again and again. Army's a waste of time for one like me.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your vestments!
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Ah!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf I am.
Left, right, left, right.
Give us all you got!
Give me a time.
Discipline shall bring us victory! You've sailed into troubled waters, mate.
Arbalist at your command. Armor won't sir.
Gods are blowing fair winds the day.
Lyria!
wench!
One gold I need. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
The Skelligers fought hard, fought bravely, brought mayhem. Yet the Queen's ordered, disciplined force won the day. The islanders seemed entirely undismayed at their defeat. A trait of theirs, I must admit, I've ever admired.
Well, you're right scrappy for landlubbers. Lippy Goodman applauds you for your pluck, Queen. When we sup, me and the lads will drink your health.
Let's use them against Nilfgaard.
That we shall yet see, sir. We must know something first. What brings you this far inland? What drove you from the sea?
Meve asked, crossing her arms.
Ha! What always drives us? Looting and pillaging. The coast's picked clean since long, so we set our longships up the Yaruga for gold and glory!
Amusing. I always assumed you to be honourable folk.
And who dares to claim elsewise?
Your very actions do so. You've attacked a land preoccupied, a land already at war with invaders. But I suppose it makes sense. You've ever feared to attack Imperials.
The Queen prodded gently.
What did you say, wench?
Goodmund had quickly turned red with rage.
I'll prove just how wrong you are, I will! Why, we'll be drinking mead from Nilfgaardian helmets for sundown! Follow me, lads!
Meve smiled as she watched the islanders gather their gear and prepare to march. She doubted not in the least that Goodmund would honor his pledge.
Here the damage seems not so great.
It appears Nilfgaard's not yet turned its forces towards the capital. We're likely to encounter no more than pathfinders and foragers.
So I hope.
Now, if you choose to punish the Skellige people, then later you will have to fight them once again, and you will also have a puzzle fight, but in the end you will not get anything different than you're getting with this choice. And once I get to that spot, I'm gonna show you how different that choice is. So let me know down below in the comments which choice you like more and why. So, as you can see, we lost some of the army morale. Now, I actually wanna upgrade this. And these two. Let's see, here we got this. We got this. Ah, nice. A much better movement speed. Okay, let's do this puzzle.
I'm a monster.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger. One man's battlefield is another man's ripe patch for harvest.
Let's see, we got a new card. There it is. So it's similar to this one. Only this one heals my allies and boosts them, while this one only boosts my allies and damages enemy allies. Now that's a nice dilemma, choosing between those two cards.
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Meve had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Crydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, the commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
So, we can offer gold, press townsmen into service, or make a speech. So let's make a speech.
They don't believe in victory?
The Queen rose from behind the table, toppling her chair.
Then let them hear how I smashed the Blacklads at Dravograd.
Quick as can be, the commander gathered all Crydam's inhabitants in the central square. Meve stepped out in front of the crowd and recounted her most recent victory. The folk of Crydam listened with bated breath.
And so, we must stand together. Fight, arm in arm. Be a wall against which black-clad hordes will be dashed.
The townsfolk responded with thunderous applause, yet enthusiasm is rarely long-lived. that born of Meave's fiery words, had dispersed after but a few days. No new volunteers joined the garrison, and the townsfolk hid from Sergeant Griggs to avoid being pressed into service. Neither the town's nor the Queen's own company were reinforced, and Meave left Crydam angry as a wasp.
So at least we got a army morale.
You see the dregs I got to endure, Your Grace. Yellow-bellied cowards and shirkers, that's who. You see the dread. No will to fight amongst the common folk. No will, no spirit at all. You see the dregs I got to endure, Your Grace. Yellow-bellied cowards and shirkers, that's who.
A contract on a monster. Interesting.
Now, holding a speech gave us a army morale, but if you choose to give the money to these people in this village, then some of them will join your army, and you will not gain the army morale. And if you force them to join your army, you will also gain some new people in your army, but you will lose the army morale. So basically, this is just a resource management choice.
Dragon! A live one, seen it with my own eyes. Had wings like a bat and a mess of teeth.
Nice, we completed this card. Let's see, what did we get? Restore all enemy units to their base power. Treasure map for gold. Nice. Now soon you're gonna find out who's that on the picture.
As Meave and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices reached their ears.
I beg your pardon. I've heard enough. A duel. I challenge you to a duel.
A duel? Nonsense. I'd sooner lay you across my lap and give your arse a thorough flailing, you scoundrel.
The Queen approached the arguing parties, two nobles, Lords Cartwright and Mansfield. Quickly she ascertained they were up in arms over ownership of an orchard lying between their estates. Assisting both nobles, their kinsmen, armed to the teeth, prepared to leap at each other and crush heads. Upon spotting Meave, the lords lowered their voices, bowed and presented themselves. Yet they could not keep their ire fettered long, and were soon casting aspersions again.
Your Grace, Mansfield has seized it. No, stolen my land. Land that has been in my family for generations.
It is my recompense for your reckless deeds. To burn down me mill in Furchin for a bit of sawdust in your flour? Well, I never.
A bit? Oh, let me at him. Farmhands taken ill, cooks feverish, all from that manure. You are a fraud, sir. A fraud and a thief.
Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion, Meve agreed to settle the dispute. Reynard, who knew the history of every Lyrian and Rivian family 7 generations back, served as her advisor.
No doubt I would find for the Cartwrights. They are in the right here, as regards the title to the land. Yet your grace must consider, the Mansfields have ever served the crown and never delayed payment of tribute. Whereas the Cartwrights are litigious charlatans who owe the royal treasury thousands, many thousands.
Now, if you take the Mansfield, you're gonna get 750 gold coins. And if you choose the other guy, the Cartwright, you're gonna get 10 people to join in your army.
From what I've gathered, you've both burdens on your conscience,
said the Queen.
And I've neither the time nor the inclination to ascertain who started this feud. You will split the orchard in 2, make do with half a piece.
But my queen!
Should my judgment displease you, Mansfield, I can always incorporate the land into the crown.
The Queen's threat silenced the feuding lords, yet it failed to bring their conflict to a close. In a few years' time, they were at one another's throats yet again.
You bloated ass-bladder! We'd have managed it ourselves, I told you! But no! Judgment, you had to have judgment. You bloated ass-bladder! We'd have managed it ourselves, I told you! But... You bloated ass-bladder! We'd have managed it ourselves, I told you!
On their way to the capital, Meve and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ake of Denel I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight-errant?
Just as likely a madman. How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slither in horror. A mélange of the macabre. Its head, that of a wild cat of Ophir. Its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have. The tail of a scorpion, and from it a thick venom drips. Learned men call this variety a manticore, or mardiacore.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folk's fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt, but from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, Provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady. Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin? A drake of some rare form?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady, I know bestiary is only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, Your Grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
Okay, now, you can choose to let him go, and then you're gonna miss a Manticore fight, but you can also insist and ask him to join you once again.
A manticore. How great is its appetite? How many men does it fell? In a moon, let us say.
It changes. At a time when the horror broods, it may be as many as 20.
I see. As now you must. Nilfgaard in my capital could mean as many as 20,000 felled. You live to fight evil, injustice, do you not? You can fight none greater than by doing so at my side.
The Manticore, Your Grace, must fall first. As to what happens later, I shall need to consult the good book and petition the gods.
Agreed, so be it. This monster, where lies its lair? Where does it prowl?
To the north, my queen. A few leagues on.
Not a scrap. Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. A whole village. Just one big grave now. Hallowed Mother, look upon these stricken souls what suffered evil. A whole village. A whole village. Just one big grave now.
'Tis in these ravines. The beast is near. I sense it.
At the furthest depth of the winding, gloomy canyon, scouts found the maw of a great cavern. Among the boulders outside it, whitening bones lay strewn. Aik dismounted and drew his blade.
By the gods' grace, we've found the beast's lair,
he said, lifting his gaze to the heavens.
We need them but to extend their favor as we battle the filth.
Meve cast a critical eye at her shield. Wood clad in leather and thin plate. Enough to stop a sword, certainly, but would it protect her from a beast's raging blow? Noticing her hesitation, Reynard approached the Queen and said,
Your Grace, none will utter a disparaging word should you step back.
But they will think them,
replied Meve.
And that's bad enough. The war has begun. I can't appear weak to my fighting men.
Without awaiting an answer, Meve strode into the cave. The rest of the company followed, equally full of fear and faith in their queen and commander. Moments later, a great and powerful roar filled the cavern.
And I beheld the beast! Profane horns didst adorn his wicked brow!
Gods protect us.
Let's see what does this guy do. Whenever an ally takes a damage, this guy is strengthened by 1.
This house.
Beware its claws! The hardest plate they shred like fine vellum!
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Left, right, left, right.
Beware! Its tail flows with deadly venom!
Ours is not to reason why.
Again and again and again.
One boat I
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Give me a time.
Nice, now we can summon Ache of the
The
Nell
unworthy shall be
and
punished!
attack the Manticore's head.
We must thank the gods for this victory both great and just.
With Ache at their side, the Lyrians felled the Manticore. Later, it was said, the beast's dying wail, multiplied and strengthened as it passed through the caverns, could be heard as far as Spala.
Your Grace, many monarchs have I met in my time, yet none proved as virile in battle as did your Majesty.
Virile? I dislike the term. Seems not to suit a woman. I prefer valiant. Yet grateful I am for the compliment. Now pray reveal, have you made your decision? Will you swear to serve me? Are you prepared to take an oath?
I am not, Your Grace. I can serve only the gods. Yet, I do believe them to be on your side as one unjustly and treacherously attacked. Thus I see nothing wrong in assisting you.
Then I am content and welcome you in my ranks, Sir Ache of Denel.
Now, before we take this guy into our ranks, I need to tell you something about him. First of all, he will not join you if you rob the Meliteles monastery, if you rob the priestesses, and you can actually avoid the monastery and ask him to join you first, and then go back to the monastery and rob it, and he's actually gonna get mad at you, and he will leave your army for good. Now, another thing with this guy is that sometimes later he can actually help you with some stuff, but that comes with a price. And that price is that he is a monster hunter. So if you choose to help any monster, he's gonna get mad at you and he's gonna leave your camp and your forces. So if you remember that troll where we helped him against Nilfgaardian forces, you can skip that battle, come here, recruit this guy, and then go back to the troll and help it, And this guy will be mad at you for that, because he wants to see every monster dead. So let's continue.
The knight-errant bowed low from the waist. So low, in fact, the gambeson neath his mail creaked. Meve could only hope he would battle Nilfgaardians as boldly as he faced beasts.
Cool. I actually like this card. I'm gonna use it instead of Fortitude. Oh man, I can use only one trophy? Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna keep the cooldown. Okay, let's see. Ike of Denel. So he's into fury mode when we fight monsters. He's into divine inspiration if we have Manticore trophy on the battlefield. He's a holy warrior if we have Manticore trophy and we're fighting monsters. Interesting. Now let's talk to him.
I see you found the mess tent. How's the ale? Not too warm, I hope.
'Tis not for me to say, Your Majesty. My tankard holds but milk of the goat.
Milk? A witless prank. I shall tell the quartermaster at once what I think of such...
Unnecessary, Your Grace. I called for the beverage.
Is that so? Well then.
The good book states clearly, the shadow of spirits obscureth light most true, and leadeth thee from the path of virtue.
Right. I suppose there's something to it.
My soul sings to hear your affirmation, Your Grace. If ever you wish to discuss the good book and the wisdoms contained therein, hesitate not to find me.
Certainly, I shall remember that. Your crusade against monsters. Have you been at it long?
Come next Bellatane, it will be 20 years, Your Grace. Though, there was one extended interruption.
For what reason? Had you grown weary of the knight-errant's life?
Not in the least. Never shall I cease in my quest to cleanse the world of filth and abominations. But at times evil puts up rather a good fight. I ventured forth to slay a dragon once, a gold one, as it were, calling itself Villa Tretormeft, or the like. Its very name, as is evident, a vile toil for the tongue and wafting wickedness. A great many mercenaries embarked on the hunt, lured by the promise of coin in heaps. The Crinford Reavers, Yarpen Zigrin, and a band of dwarves. Even, curse the word, a witcher. One Yennefer, a most lecherous sorceress, at his side.
So all of this actually happened in the books. Spoiler alert.
That name I've heard.
But at the deciding moment, when the beast challenged all, I alone emerged to face it. Alas, though, Shame burns me to admit it. I returned from the battle upon my shield. Figuratively. Literally. I returned in pieces. For 2 years, I lay in the Temple of Melitele in Alanda. Mother Nenike, God's protector, nursing me back to full health. And only when I could once more grip my sword did I return to the path I'd chosen.
Mother Nenike is also from the books.
And the dragon? What was its fate?
Some claim it flew off to Zerrikania, though it very well might yet lurk here, awaiting the opportune moment to terrorize the folk of the north again.
Farewell, Ake.
Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Not a scrap. Not a scrap. Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood soul.
Something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. How all's gone silent.
Okay, with this we can boost army morale. So why not? And we've got another puzzle.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
One boat. Give me a time.
Well? The worm, just as I said. Now who's addled in the head, eh? Well? The worm, just as I said.
Why ever do the gods punish us so? Night on the high road, a day afore last, claim the beast's called a girly cup. Milady, something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. Why ever do the gods punish us so? To be cast out by Nilfgaard, and now to face beasts.
Okay, so this is the area which is different depending on your Skellige people choices. So let me show you what's gonna happen if you choose to punish them.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Again and again and again. An army's a waste of time for one like me. Left, right, left, right. Again and again and again.
Don't you worry yourself with Grace. We'll get her done in no time.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Can't take it anymore.
Again and again and again. An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Gonna need 3 buckets of nails and a tub full of pegs.
Left, right, left, right.
Aye.
We till not the soil, we sow not the seeds.
Again and again and again. An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Oh, Lyrian lummoxes.
The gods are with us! Left, right, left, right. Let us put our steel to the test!
Give me a target.
Bugles will be bursting with pride!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Demon!
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Take that treasure. Till you cull it off with it!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me. Arbalist to your command.
Give us all you got!
Armor won't say.
War at last! War, my beloved!
Gods are blowing fair winds the day.
Older Blackhand's taking on new swabbies. What do you say?
And that's it. Now let's go back.
One of them golden sons belongs on the side of my own ship. Nilf Guardians make for good prisoners. Good slaves, too. They got black shells, but the meat inside's red. They got black shells, but the meat inside's red. Nilf Guardians make for good prisoners. Good slaves, too.
What's a folk moving about of late? Fair Libya our own land, charming, fertile and grand. Is your majesty also bound for the river? To camp there, perchance? What's a folk moving about of late? Fair Libya is our own land, charming, fertile and grand.
Destroy the highest ally and play 2 allies from your graveyard. Okay, so we can lose 2 men and get some army morale, or we can lose gold and get some army morale. Let's lose gold.
We welcome you home, your majesty. Prince Willem awaits your return, your grace. Good you've returned, ma'am. Lyria needs you. Prince Willem awaits your return, your grace. We welcome... Prince Willem awaits...
And that's it. We are at the end of the first map.
Home at last, Your Grace.
Mm-hmm. We shall not enjoy it long, I fear. Soon we must face the black-clads in the field.
Yet a moment's peace we will have. After that drubbing you gave them at Dravigrad, they'll wish to rethink their strategy.
Five hours spent, 15 quests completed, 8 puzzles solved, 4 battles won, and 10 out of 10 golden chests found.
Neve had ridden out of Lyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed for the brief summit of sovereigns. She returned now to her capital, at the head of an army that dragged behind it bandits and Nilfgaardian prisoners in chains. The whole city came out to greet her. Its traders, craftsfolk, priests. Also, her eldest son and heir, Prince Willem. A boy who, it seemed, might never be prepared to rule. Neve and Willem rode side by side past the cheering throngs, their faces frozen in regal smiles. It was not until they reached the castle stables that they found a corner in which to speak freely, candidly.
Welcome home, Mother. Content I am to see you, to be sure.
And I'm happy to see you. Though I dare say I'd have been much happier to witness you leading an army towards Dravigrad. Willem, I trusted you. Left the realm in your care.
Indeed. And I, in turn, did my utmost to choose the best course for...
Willem, don't be so damned courtly. There's no one else here. My son. Nilfgaard has invaded our home. We're at war. When rulers don't strive and don't choose, when rulers grab their swords and shields and ride out to defend their subjects.
You didn't let me finish.
All right. Say what you wanted to, please.
I feared I'd be hasty, Mother, and I didn't want to be. When we got word of the invasion, the lords convened at the castle. They demanded I hear them out. They wanted to give me counsel. If I'd rushed into the field to confront the foe, I'd have been half blind to the situation, not known all the options I had at my disposal.
A ruler never knows all the options. Yet he must decide and act nonetheless. I need to prepare. I'll see you at the Council of Peers.
And indeed she did, when the peers convened in the throne room. Surrounded by animal hides and Zerrikanian tapestries, the lords stood in tense silence, awaiting the queen. When her figure filled the doorway, they fawningly prostrated themselves.
We've myriad matters to resolve, so I trust you're well rested. Whatever the case, I've no doubt we shall meet the dawn afore we're done. Firstly, we must ask assistance. Pen a letter to King Demavend. Scribe, take this down. Dear... What? Uncle? Cousin? Blast. Again. I, Meve, by the god's grace, sovereign of Rivia and...
Your Grace, Mother, the peers and I, we've come to propose another solution.
Yes, out with it.
We wish to acknowledge Nilfgaard's authority, pledge fealty to the Emperor.
I beg your pardon.
The black-clad hordes outnumber our forces manyfold, and they're far better equipped. We stand not the slightest chance against them in open...
You will not lecture me about Nilfgaard's army, my son. All you know of them you garnered from coloured renderings, whereas I faced them at Dravigrad. I faced them and crushed them.
But Your Grace, the losses! For this fleeting victory in which you delight, how many of your subjects had to perish? Bend a knee afore the Emperor, and you shall spare thousands.
Nay, never! Understood, Caldwell? Not ever!
I'd hoped to persuade you, but it seems I've failed. Nonetheless, the die's been cast. We've signed the accord with Nilfgaard. Our noble lords stand with me.
The blood left Maeve's face. She had realized her son, who had ever professed to detest politics and shirked his duties as crown prince, had just stabbed her in the back, as had her entire court.
What is this? Treason to my eyes! The gallows is what awaits you!
Willem rules Lyria now. And should you not acquiesce and approve the accord, I fear only you, milady, shall have the pleasure to meet the hangman.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Caldwell. My mother will not be harmed. Not one hair on her head. Understood? Confine the Queen to the tower.
You err deeply, my son.
The Queen was confined to a cell. Gilded armor she had traded for a simple robe, a courtly retinue for a swarm of rats. She was the very picture of misery. At the window of her cell, gripping the bars, Maeve stood powerless, her anger so great she wept and wailed. Her Lyria was free no more.
Have I come at a bad time?
Demons take you, Caldwell. You've long been at this scheme, haven't you? You left the strays of Sparla to roam the realm, to forage, so that I would have to look to them. And thus gained your cohorts the time they needed to complete Lyria's sail to Nilfgaard.
You've seen through it all, that's clear. After the fact, of course, but still.
Willem, you turned him. How?
The boy's not fit to wear the crown. Hasn't sufficient wit nor valor. I know this. You know this. Just, he knows it not. Willem fancied himself a statesman, wished terribly to prove he was one. I made it possible. I've been amply rewarded, I have. Palatine since just yesterday, in fact.
You'll have neither my blessing nor congratulations. Sorry to disappoint you.
I seek neither. I've come for another reason. To bid you adieu. Willem does not seek your death. Does not even fathom it, as you well know. Moreover, his resolve will wilt in time, and he'll wish to free you. So, come the morn, when the young king rides out to pledge fealty afore General Ep Dahi, you shall use your bed linens to hang yourself.
Now I'm gonna play strong with this dialogue.
I see. You wish to see me bow afore you, lie prostrate, beg you for mercy. Plough yourself with a pike, Caldwell. And you needn't send your thugs. I'll not falter nor hesitate. I'll take my own life.
Adieu, your grace, and use your last evening wisely.
Maeve felt a rush of despair, yet bit her lip to mute any weeping. No, she would not give Caldwell the satisfaction. Morning arrived with the sound of footsteps in the corridor. Maeve rose from her cot and stood in the center of her cell. She was prepared for anything. Well, nearly anything.
The Duke of Dogs?
Titles seem senseless under the circumstances, don't you think? Let's forgo them. I'm Gascon.
Has Caldwell sent you? To kill me?
No and a no. Actually, you're free. How shall I put this? That cad, Count Caldwell, used yours truly and the strays as bait in a scheme aimed at kicking your shapely backside off your throne. Now, I'm hardly vindictive. First to forgive, in fact. Take your threat to send me to the gallows. Forgotten already. Yet being played for a fool, I cannot abide. So when the strays freed me, I knew what I'd do to spite the Count afore I disappeared. I'd free you. That's to say, on one condition. You've got to request it of me, my lady. Courteously.
Never. I'd rather die in this cell.
Steadfast as ever. Even with death hanging over you. Colour me impressed, I must admit. Call it my loss, then. You are free.
And grateful. Now please let me pass. I must get to the city jail at once.
Would you look at this woman? Free her from one prison, she flies off to the next.
They hold Reynard there. And if I've any ally left, anyone who's not betrayed me, it's him. I must get him out.
Hold, my lady. Unarmed? Alone?
Have I any other option?
In a sense. See, they locked a few strays in the city pits, too. Got a common cause, I'd say. Care to join forces?
The Queen took Gascon up on his offer. Then she, Gascon, and the strays snuck through the city to its dungeon. Reynard had not wavered for a moment in his devotion to the Queen. Never the slouch, he had also not lost any time.
I've inquired among the other arrested soldiers. Many are prepared to fight, even die at your side, your grace.
Seems they may yet get their chance. But now we must flee. All of us.
Yet in leaving the jail, the company ran into trouble. When Caldwell's cutthroats had failed to find Meve in her cell waiting for her secret execution, they had informed the Count. He, in turn, dispatched patrols into the streets. The Queen and her cohorts ran into one such unit.
Blast. We shan't outrun them. To arms! Gascon? Bloody hell, where'd you get to?
Your grace, we must make haste. Caldwell's roused the whole city by now.
Okay, now with this guy we need to find a exit, which is hidden behind these cards. So let's see. Nope, it's not that one.
Should have listened to me, old lady.
Sod it. Sod it all.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn...
Didn't think I'd leave you just like that, did you?
Honestly, I did.
Don't like this.
I smell a leak.
Left, right, left, right.
Your grace, what guarantee do we have that they won't stab us in the back?
You mad? Don't shake that!
One bullet's all I need. Give me a target.
Again and again and again.
So when a row has an effect like fire, frost, freeze, rain, you can see its effect here. On these side... how should I call them? Side thingies. So on every turn, on turn start, all units on this row have 33% chance of taking 2 damage. Let's do this one.
Got a death wish?
Here.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
As you wish, milady.
Nice, there it is.
Thing about slings, they hide well.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Cursed traitors.
Left, right, left, right.
I thank you, Gascon. You and your men, for your aid.
'Tis nought, my lady. Strays never say no to a proper brawl.
No brawl this was. Sun rising against Mother. Lyrian striking at Lyrian. I fear a blood war's begun.
Come now. Seems to me the war's ended. Your realm's lost to Nilfgaard. You've no army to speak of.
Then I shall assemble a new one. And with it have Caldwell hanged, and drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
You're mad! How will you find the men? Riding from hamlet to hamlet, speaking from atop a crate?
No. I shall find them in Edern. I've a favour to call in with King Demavend, and I'll sway volunteers to my cause on the way.
Well, you've your first willing warriors already.
How so?
We've nothing left in Lyria. Our hideouts are compromised, Caldwell's sure to set a price on our heads, and Nilfgaardians roam the land in numbers. Besides, I'll be right tickled to see proud Queen Meve fighting elbow to elbow with a bandit she'd wish to hang just a half day afore.
Well, it is said my foe's foe is my friend. And I'd be a fool to turn down assistance now, no matter who offers. So be it.
Very high-minded of you, my lady. So, shall we shake on't? Nay? Well then, the high road beckons. Though first we must escape the city with our lives. Follow me.
Lyria was hers no more. Meve now had to flee her capital and realm as quickly as she could. Wont to travel the city streets in a gilded carriage, the Queen now saw them from a slightly different vantage point.
Is this the only way? Are you quite certain? The Queen
is a common fugitive now, so she'd do better to pinch her nose and whinge not at all.
At long last, Meve reached the gate. Yet this she found shut tight, locked and guarded.
Gods be damned.
Easy, Your Grace. Nothing we can't solve with a quiver full of quarrels.
Those are our men.
They were, Reynard, were.
Gascon's raiders were poised to loose their bolts, but were thwarted when the Queen stepped out in front of them.
What's she... Your Majesty? I've orders to arrest, Your Grace.
Place me in irons, then.
Please understand, I haven't a choice.
Fear not. You'll be rewarded by Caldwell in Nilfgaardian Florens.
The captain's head dropped. His cheeks burned crimson.
Go, Your Grace. Flee now, but only to return.
Remember this, Gascon. I'm no fugitive. I'm a queen, robbed of her rightful crown. And though I may need to venture to the world's end before I return, I shall have it back.
Having fled Lyria, Queen Meve ventured into Edirn, her old friend Reynard and new ally Gascon at her side. The war had bitten into this land too. Still, Meve hoped to sway King Demavend to her cause, and with his aid, to oust the traitors, retake her throne, and drive the Nilfgaardian invader from her realm. Yet to start, she was forced to fight, Scoia'tael no less. Emerging from a wood, Meve's retinue encountered a unit of elven rebels just moments from hanging a handful of prisoners. Among the latter, the Queen spotted a woman, a proud warrior with a striking, thick black braid.
The lass I believe I know.
Well, unless we rush to her rescue, it'll soon be you knew her.
Well said. Lyrians, attack!
Hang the butcher! Valoa!
Nay. Dwambe
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid.
Have it the white of an eye from half a league away.
Ah!
Watch your heads!
Dole! Blathana!
Free the warrior!
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Ah!
I shall not fail!
The elves! Scatter them! They block our path!
The Scoia'tael warriors shocked the Queen with their speed, their cunning, and their cruelty. Yet in the end, the Lyrians prevailed. When the last elf hit the ground, the Queen had her men untie those they'd sought to hang.
1,000 thanks, Your Grace. Heard many tales of your valor. Pleased to see they weren't just flattery and propaganda.
Black Rayla. Hagar, we saw you there. You command King Demoven's special forces.
That's right. Though not many remain to command.
So I see. How did it come to this?
My liege sent me to wipe out a Scoia'tael band, led by a rat called Eldane. Followed the vermin's tracks for several days, straight into his trap, turned out.
Hunting elves in the woods. Truly inspired, I must say.
Had no choice. Doing nothing would have brought us surer, swifter doom. The Blackclad have invaded Edirn. Thanks to elven aid. They snap our supply lines, lurk like dogs, prey on vulnerable units and scouts.
You mean to say Nilfgaard's broken your defenses?
Aye. Though their march will soon halt, believe me. To advance, they'll have to take Rosberg, a stronghold that's yet to fall once. They'll break against its walls like waves upon the rocks.
While Edirn stands, the north is not yet lost.
I'll convey your grace's words to the king at the first occasion.
I'd rather hope to convey them myself. I have come to Edirn seeking aid. I wish to ask Demavend for support.
The king is in Rosberg, overseeing siege preparations. I'm heading that way too to report on our skirmish with the Scoia'tael. I might serve as your guide. These lands I know better than any.
Excellent. Guide on.
And welcome to Act 2, or Chapter 2, or second map, whatever you call it, which we will continue in the next episode. So if you liked this one, give it a like, dislike if you think it sucked, and see you next time. Thank you.